the day after Bob Mueller broke his silence, is something that you may have seen before. It is a pattern the Trump administration has settled on when dealing with Bob Mueller's sometimes explosive and negative findings. Let me tell you exactly what this is. I call it the Mueller sandwich. Like any sandwich, the title comes from the meat, in this case, Mueller. But Team Trump figured out a way to blunt what they may view as the bitter taste of Mueller's meaty evidence by sandwiching him with a lot of Barr. You remember there was a lot of Barr before any of the Mueller report came out. There was more Barr during that unusual press conference to upstage the report on the very day it came out. And now that Bob Mueller has spoken for what he says he hopes to be the last time, well, guess what? Mueller sandwich. Barr out today, again muddying Mueller's careful explanation of how the rules prohibit indicting a president, because true to the sandwich, Barr is making his own news, and he is the Attorney General, so what he says matters. And he is claiming that Mueller could have reached a decision on that very indictment point.
I personally felt he could have reached a decision.
In your view, he could have reached a conclusion.
Right, he could have reached a conclusion. The opinion says you cannot indict a president while he's in office, but he could have reached a decision as to whether it was criminal activity. But he had his reasons for not doing it, which he explained, and I'm not going to, argue about those reasons.
Just think through Barr's claim right there. He's saying he would prefer that Bob Mueller conclude that Donald Trump committed criminal activity on obstruction without indicting him. How can I say this nicely? That's very hard to believe. And also, if that is what Barr preferred and demanded, he could have demanded it. Barr was Mueller's boss until yesterday. He could order Mueller to update the report with that very decision if he wanted. He didn't. He made the decision for himself.
But when he didn't make a decision, the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, and I felt it was necessary for us, as the heads of the department, to reach that decision.
Well, I mean, he seemed to suggest yesterday that there was another venue for this, and that was Congress.
Well, I'm not sure what he was suggesting, but, the Department of Justice doesn't use our powers of investigating crimes as an adjunct to Congress.
That's the sound of a very smart, very informed lawyer claiming to be confused, unsure. He just doesn't get what Mueller suggested yesterday. That is a tell. By proclaiming his confusion, Barr can claim he's not even really taking a position, that Mueller's remarks went whoosh over his head. But all Mueller did was quote the DOJ's own rule that the president's employees don't accuse him of wrongdoing. That's the role of Congress.
The opinion says that the Constitution requires a process other than the criminal justice system to formally accuse a sitting president of wrongdoing.
And the number of Democrats tonight now pushing to make that formal accusal, to use Mueller's words, is growing. The calls for impeachment has hit 50 now. The chairman of the powerful House Rules Committee breaking with Pelosi and echoing Mueller's implication that the time for talking is over.
I believe, quite frankly, that the next step is for the House Judiciary Committee to open an inquiry to formally begin considering whether impeachment is warranted. I think we're at that point. Quite frankly, we're beyond talking about this in terms of political implications. I mean, we have to do what's right.
President Trump took the debate head on today, telling reporters Mueller's new remarks were the same as the report. That part's true. And then stating his revulsion at the very word impeachment.
I don't see how they can, because they're possibly allowed, although I can't imagine the courts allowing it. I've never gone into it. I never thought that would even be possible to be using that word. To me, it's a dirty word, the word impeach. It's a dirty, filthy, disgusting word.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.